It's 12:05 in the afternoon on this Wednesday here on 90.3 FM. Time for Helping Seniors of Brevard. Let's get the show underway. Jennifer Barton is here as Carrie Fink is on assignment. And Jennifer, good to see you, and you've got some good guests for us today.
I do. Thank you. It is so nice to be here. Welcome, everyone, to the Helping Seniors of Brevard County Radio Hour. It's a pleasure to fill in for Carrie Fink today, who is off on assignment at the Florida State Guardianship Association, learning lots and doing great things up in Orlando. And I had the pleasure this morning of going to another nonprofit, New Life Mission, and got to see a little bit about what they do and was really happy to hear that they are working with other nonprofits to help the mothers and children that they serve. And that was one of the points that she made was that they don't leave anyone out. You know, everyone is going to get a phone call back, and they're going to work with other nonprofits to make sure that the families get the help that they need. And that's one of Joe Steckler's passions, is uniting our nonprofits and making sure that we are all working together. And to that end, we have an amazing nonprofit here that's been in the county for a very long time. So we are blessed to have people from St. Francis Reflections with us today. We have Elana Pitcher, who I've had the opportunity to know for quite a while now, which is wonderful. Thank you for being here, Elana.
Thank you for having us. It's exciting to be here today. We are thrilled and humbled that we get to talk about our organization, how we collaborate with the community, and leading into our We Honor Veterans program. So thank you so much for having us.
Very exciting. And speaking of veterans, we also have today Chandler Langevin. Did I say that correctly?
Langevin.
Langevin.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Chandler. And you happen to be a veteran.
Yeah, so I am originally from Brevard County, and I enlisted out of the Titusville recruiting station when I was 18 and joined the United States Navy. I was actually made a hospital corpsman, which is a medical role. And I provided medical support to the United States Marine Corps, mostly with the infantry, for about 10 years, including deployments to Afghanistan and the Pacific.
Well, thank you so much for your service. So very, very excited to have St. Francis with us. How long, Elana, has St. Francis been here in the county?
You know, we're so proud to share that we were established in 1977 by a local nurse up in Titusville. Her name was Emily Sasko, who had a mission and vision to take care of individuals that had end-of-life needs. And her mission was, you know, neighbor helping neighbor. So we are celebrating over 45 years of hospice legacy, serving our community throughout Brevard County. But originally started in Titusville, but have proudly served, you know, the entire county, all 72 miles of Brevard.
We are a long, thin county. So St. Francis Reflections really it started in Titusville, but it has evolved over the years, grown throughout the county and added services. Can you tell me a little bit about what St. Francis does in general?
Sure. Thank you for asking. You know, we are the only independent, not-for-profit hospice here in Brevard County, again, proudly serving since 1977. You know, through the years and the decades, you know, we've been able to expand our services, not only just providing hospice interventions, but palliative care, grief support, specifically to adults, and we have a specific grief support program for children, which is the North Star program. We also have a pet pledge program. This was very, very important to our organization, as so many of our patients and community members have their fur babies that they love so much, and our president and CEO wanted to make sure that, you know, our patients were not burdened with what was going to happen to their fur baby.
Absolutely. That's a big deal.
If they were no longer able to care for them, absolutely. So we work with a number of organizations throughout the county to help rehome some of these pets if family members cannot take them on. But I will say that there's always a call to action from our volunteer services with our organization, and many of our staff end up rehoming and adopting some of these pet loved ones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we have the Pet Pledge program, and then we also have Takesha's Fund. We work very closely with our foundation, so if there's any What Matters Most needs for our patients, our foundation has a fund to assist with some what matters most moments for our patients.
So tell me a little bit more about that. Can you give me an example of what that would look like?
Absolutely. We have patients that may have special requests, what matters most to them and their families while they are on their hospice journey. So, for example, if, there's a special dinner that they would like to have with their family, we have been able to provide that, for the family members and the patient, so that they have that enjoyment. We also recently had an opportunity to take one of our patients to the beach so that they could enjoy tipping their toes in the sand or the ocean water. And because of our foundation and their support, we were able to provide a beach wheelchair for our patients so that this patient could experience that what matters most moment to them.
Very nice, very nice, very heartwarming.
Very much so. It's really special. It's humbling for our staff. It's a beautiful experience for the patient, and to be able to honor those wishes, during this journey is truly impactful. And it's such a compassionate, heartwarming moment, like you said. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that leads us into our, another program that is also supported by our foundation, and that's our We Honor Veterans program, which Chandler will talk about more with you today.
Wonderful, wonderful. I do want to back up a little bit. You mentioned palliative care,
yes.
And that's something as my other hat as the owner of Seniors Helping Seniors, I end up talking to families a lot about, because people don't know what that is. It's still, even though it's been around for us for a while, I think a lot of people, it's still new to them. They don't understand what that is. And oftentimes I find people don't want to have that talk about hospice, but if I bring up palliative care, they are open to entertaining that. And I, in the back of my mind, knowing that at least if they open the door to the palliative care, then when the time comes where hospice is appropriate, you're already there and you can help them make that transition from the palliative to the hospice care. But what is palliative care, and what does that look like?
That is an excellent question. And, palliative care is that added layer of support for symptom management for patients that have chronic illness that just may not be ready for hospice or meet the criteria for hospice. Our our palliative care team consists of a physician, a nurse practitioner, and at times where there's a social worker that is needed, we're able to provide that. Palliative care, also is that support for advanced care planning or goals of care discussion as one journeys through their disease trajectory. There are some patients that may qualify for hospice but are just not ready to make the decision to go on to hospice. So palliative care is that nice symptom management, added layer of support to help navigate through that healthcare journey, to manage the symptoms, again, to have the advanced care planning or advanced goals of care discussion with the patient to assist, in the future for any transition into potential hospice. But with palliative care, palliative care patients can still seek aggressive treatment and curative treatments while they're, receiving palliative care interventions.
I find that so helpful, when we have a family that is dealing with some pretty significant medical concerns, having that extra set of eyes and that management and that support is really, really helpful because most of us are not medically inclined. You know, we know our person very well, but you know, if you don't have a doctor in the family, who do you go to and ask for advice? So having those people there, like I said, another extra eyes, another opinion to help you walk that journey, I think is so valuable.
To provide that level of education so that we're empowering our families and our patients to learn more about palliative care and hospice, empowering our community to learn more about it. And like you said, Jennifer, to take maybe what used to be an uncomfortable topic for some and encouraging, empowering, and educating so that hospice and palliative medicine is not so scary to talk about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And from my background, one of my uncles was on hospice, and they just treated him so wonderfully well that he graduated from hospice. He came back off. He lived another year and then went back on hospice, graduated again. And then about 6 months later, unfortunately, he went on hospice for the third time and passed away. But I credit the hospice team for giving him that extra year and a half that he probably wouldn't have had we not called in hospice. So I'm a firm believer in talking to hospice and seeing what they can do for a family before maybe even we think we're ready, you know, going ahead and calling earlier, because it doesn't have to be. We kind of picture hospice as, oh, it's the last 3 days, it's the hospice house. And it's not. You know, with my uncle, it was well before that. And they took such good care of him that he rallied for another year and a half.
That is very brave to share your story. And thank you for sharing that with us, because it's so true, Jennifer. To have early intervention is key. When a patient is able to experience a longer length of stay on hospice, they really get to experience the whole interdisciplinary team and support that hospice can provide, from the physician to the nurse practitioner, the RN case manager that's seeing the patient, the home health aide, the social worker, the chaplain, the volunteer that can be involved in one's level of care. And you're absolutely right. There are patients that come on hospice and they thrive and they do well on hospice and they graduate. And those are remarkable stories as well. And but to be able to be there to provide that level of comfort during, you know, one of the most trying times in someone's life, it's really an honor to take care of people earlier on, and just to be there to support them during their hospice journey.
And you could tell this team really knew him well. He had been with them off and on for a long time. You know, they would actually jokingly, you know, hey, Lazarus, because he had come back and forth so many times. But they did. They knew him really, really well, and they honored him. He was a World War II vet, so they really understood him and honored him in a way that really spoke to him. So that was wonderful. And Chandler, that's where we're going to bring you in. Segue into our veteran here. And can you tell us a little bit about the veteran program?
Sure. Again, thanks for having me. And if you're just tuning in, again, my background is I was a Navy corpsman for 10 years. And what that means is I provided medical support to the United States Marine Corps and the Navy as well. But I was attached to the Marine Corps for all 10 of those years. And, you know, as a naval medical personnel, my job was to advocate for the health of my Marines and fellow corpsmen. And so it's a pleasure to be able to get out of the military and find an organization that now allows me to advocate for all veterans in our community. And so that's something that's very special. So what we do at St. Francis is we're proud and blessed to be the first hospice in Brevard County to receive our level 5 We Honor Veterans certification. That's a certification through the National Hospice Palliative Care Organization nationwide. And it has a long list of things that we have to be able to do for both veterans on our service and veterans out in the community. So I'll go ahead and talk about some of the amazing things that we get to do for our veterans. So first off, veterans that come on our service, we have an amazing team of veteran volunteers, about a dozen of them, and they conduct what we call pinning ceremonies. And so these pinning ceremonies, very special. We get a kit. That kit includes a flag that was flown over the Capitol by our congressman. It includes quilts. They're all done locally. They're all individual, done by some amazing local organizations, including Seaside Stitchers. And we get pins both for the veteran and for their family. We have challenge coins, and we have a certificate from St. Francis thanking them for their service. And so either myself or a veteran volunteer will go in, get to know the patient's family a little bit, get to know the veteran's background, and then we'll do a very special ceremony where we'll talk about that veteran's history, what they did in the military, and then we kind of do a formal ceremony where we pin them kind of like a promotion, except, it's a nice honored veteran pin. Then we'll present them the certificate, the flag, we'll lay the quilt over them, then we'll salute the veteran. We've had some of these ceremonies where the veteran, is not responsive, they're unconscious, but when we go to salute the veteran, they salute back. It's just so moving and special. And the families really enjoy it. In a lot of cases, it's sometimes the veteran isn't very open, and now it's for the families, it's some of the first time that they get to hear what their loved one did in the military and in the service. So those ceremonies is really special and really what makes us a great place for veterans. But we also do a lot out in the community as well. So we go out into the assisted living facilities, the independent living facilities, the nursing homes, and we try to get all the veterans that are in these facilities together. And we do things like veteran cafes where they come together. We bring in coffees, or we do bingo with them, or do other types of stuff, and it just gets the veterans together about once a month, so that they can start getting to know each other. I'll go in sometimes and I'll talk to them about, especially if it's a kind of a patriotic holiday like a 4th of July or a Veterans Day, we'll do some awesome stuff. And that's just great because it gets these veterans who are in these facilities to get to know each other and start bringing that veteran bonding back and that brotherhood.
Absolutely. And I think that's so important because the socialization aspect as we get older, and I'm afraid, and especially with gentlemen, sometimes, they don't want to come out of their apartment or they don't want to go out and be social. They're not being active. But there is a different, I don't know what you would call it. Maybe you have a better word, Chandler. But there's just something different when another veteran comes in and talks. You have your own kind of language, and it works. It gets them out of their shell and it gets them talking.
Yeah, the military is known for its very unique camaraderie that you just can't really find in other places just because of what you go through in the military. And so, yeah, that camaraderie and that bonding, it takes another veteran sometimes to understand that. And we do really like to hang out with other veterans that we know, that they understand kind of what we've been through in the past. So that is very special. So we do those. Also in those facilities, we sponsor Walls of Honor. Walls of Honor is just a great thing where we can partner with the facility. We can put up a nice patriotic wall in their facility, and we put all the veterans that are on their service on the wall, and we get a nice flag, again, normally flown over the Capitol, and we do a big ceremony. We also do pinning ceremonies on Veterans Day where we come in and we get all the veterans from the facility. We line them up kind of like a military promotion ceremony, and we do it. We sing the songs and we have a guest speaker, and then we pin them all and thank them for their service. And so we really get to do a lot with the veterans in these communities and get them out, get them active, and remind them that they're thanked for their service and that they're still special.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
That's
and then the community engagement piece, just outside of that, in the community at large, we partner with a number of amazing veteran organizations throughout the county, particularly the Military Officers Association of America. They do a lot of great stuff for our community. The Brevard Veterans Memorial Center in Merritt Island, which they have an amazing museum as well attached. So if you have time, go check out the Veterans Memorial Center, go to the museum. We partner with the Legions, with the VFWs, with some of the branch associations, and we just see where we can help and what we can do, and we partner with them, and that's where we pull our guest speakers to come into the assisted living facilities. That's where we sponsor the National Veteran Homeless Support every year to make sure that we're not having homeless veterans, that they're getting taken care of. They raise money for the ROTC programs locally, so we can make sure that we're giving back in that sense. And so being able to partner with these organizations is really what puts us over the top and allows us to do all the things. And that's where we end up drawing some of our volunteers to come do the pinning ceremony. So it all just kind of comes full circle. And then, we just have a nice veterans community that we all work together and make sure that these veterans are honored all the way through the end of life.
Wonderful, wonderful. I might have a volunteer for you. I just hired a caregiver who moved here, and she's former military. So we're thrilled to have her on board for Seniors Helping Seniors, because we love to hire military veterans, because they have a camaraderie that you just don't have with another person. So we love to put a vet with another vet. But she mentioned that she was involved in the pinning ceremonies up north. So we might have a mutual person, which is wonderful. Because I said in the beginning, it's important for Brevard County is so amazing. We have lovely, wonderful people with great hearts that we have more nonprofits per capita, I think, than anywhere else in Florida. But it's important for all of us to work together, and that's why Helping Seniors is so glad that you are both here, so that we can learn more about what St. Francis does and all the different programs that we have together. So we've just got a few minutes before the break. Elana, if someone is interested in learning more about St. Francis Reflections, volunteering, the palliative program, the hospice program, how can we reach you?
Great question, and thank you for asking. You can reach us on our website at www.reflectionslsc.org. Again, that's www.reflectionslsc.org, or you can reach us by phone at 321-269-4240.
Wonderful. Very, very good. And then if those numbers, that website, are good for anything that Chandler talked about as far as the veterans programs as well.
Yes, the website highlights all of our services, all of the programs that I was able to identify when it comes to hospice, palliative care, grief support, pet pledge, our foundation contributions and programs, as well as our We Honor Veterans program.
Wonderful. So please check that website out. We'll be back soon. Make sure you have a piece of paper and a pencil. We're going to give you some dates and some more phone numbers, but be back in a minute.
Some good music to hear on Helping Seniors of Brevard. Good conversation continues here in the second half of the show. Carrie Fink is off today on assignment, and filling in for Carrie is Jennifer Barton. Jennifer?
It is a pleasure to be here. While we were on break, we got talking a little bit about a situation that one of my clients is just in. Unfortunately, the client passed suddenly, so hospice was not involved. But that doesn't mean that the family can't have some grief support. So, Elana, can you talk about that just a second?
Sure. With St. Francis Reflections Lifestage Care, we, again, being a 501c3 not-for-profit hospice, we have a robust grief support program. Someone does not have to have a loved one on our service in order to take advantage of our grief support program. We offer grief support throughout the county, whether a family member has had a loved one on our service or not. So we have a number of groups that are offered throughout Brevard County, and we also have on our website how to reach out to our grief support program for those needs, again at www.reflectionslsc.org. But again, they can call 321-269-4240 to receive some more information or inquire about our grief support program. But we do offer grief support to our community. Again, a number of support groups across Brevard County. And again, you don't have to you wouldn't have had to have a loved one directly on our service to capitalize on that program.
So please take advantage of those programs. They really are very helpful. And I'm going to, with that same situation, I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit. One of Joe Steckler's big things is that he wants people to have a plan in place. And unfortunately, this family did not. So there was no estate planning. There was no information on wills, trusts, anything. So the whole estate will go into probate. And there are some special circumstances of why that was really not going to be helpful in this case. So, unfortunately, the family is scrambling right now. And it's just painful to see, because with a little bit of paperwork, all of that could have been avoided. So coming up next Thursday, July 25th, speaking of Knowledge College, we're going to be 10 o'clock doing the Knowledge College and talking about your aging plan and making sure that those things are in place. Your documents are in order. You know what your resources are as you get older, so that you are not making rush decisions at the very end, and maybe decisions that are being forced in a very stressful situation. Much rather have you make those decisions for yourself way ahead of time, put them away. If you have to use them, they're there for you as a roadmap of what to do, and you're not having to make rash decisions under duress. So please come out to the Senior Resource Center Thursday, July 25th, 10 o'clock. We're going to be doing that Knowledge College for Aging and talking about your aging plan. And then at 11 o'clock, this is exciting, we are going to have a mobile dermatologist come in. Jessica Anastasio is going to come in and talk to us about skin health and the summer sun. And as an avid paddle boarder, I'm out in the sun a lot, so I'm curious to see what she has to say. I always wear my sunscreen, I wear my hat, but looking forward to her advice and information on how to protect ourselves. We live here in Florida. Even if you're not out in the sun a lot, you're still even going to and from the car. We have some pretty strong sun, pretty strong heat here right now. So how do we protect ourselves? So encourage everyone to come out. Again, that's Thursday, the 25th. We'll start at 10 with Knowledge College, 11 with our health and wellness program, that dermatologist. And that is at our Joe's Senior Resource Center. It's 1344 South Apollo. It is very close to Holmes Regional Medical Hospital. It's in the 4-story Omni building. We're on the 2nd floor. Come up and see us. We always have some goodies, some refreshments, and I think Janet from St. Francis is always there, so you can come and ask Janet some questions, some follow-up questions about today's program, but please join us. And I think, Chandler, you have something coming up.
Oh, yeah. So we have Veterans Day, obviously, is going to come up in November, as it does every year. And this year on the 10th, which is the Saturday before Veterans Day, it might be the 9th. The 9th before Veterans Day, the Saturday before Veterans Day, we have our Dash in Life, which is our 5K. And what that does is that's our main fundraiser to raise the money that we need to continue to do these pinning ceremonies and all the great work that we do for veterans. But it's also just a fun event. It's at the Brevard Veterans Memorial Center. We start early in the morning. We do our 5K. After the 5K, I conduct a nice pinning ceremony for any of the veterans in attendance. We do that outside underneath the cool helicopters that they have out there. And as soon as that finishes, it rolls right into the Veterans Day ceremonies that are conducted by the Brevard Veterans Memorial Center, and then you can tour the museum. So it's a full encompassing event. You can start with us, get your exercise on in the morning, see a good pinning ceremony or participate with us, and then go into the formal ceremonies with the Brevard Veterans Memorial Center.
What a wonderful day. So you are supporting a good cause, you're getting some exercise, and then you get to meet some veterans and go through the museum. So perfect.
Yeah, it's a great day. I'll be out there all day. You can come say hi to me.
All right. So what day is that again?
That should be the 9th. I got confused because the 10th is the Marine Corps' birthday, and that's another super important day, which if you are a Marine Corps veteran or a Navy Corpsman, you would know. And we do have a local Marine Corps ball as well through the Marine Corps League, which is another one of our partners. So if you want to do that, if you're a Marine or a Navy corpsman, look up the Marine Corps Ball here in Brevard County as well.
Very nice. Lots of opportunities for our vets to get out and be social. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. And then we also have something coming up. I don't know if you two have heard about this, but we have an event coming up at the end of July. It's called Eat at Joe's. And Chef Jillian, if you have met her before, she is an amazing chef. She runs a business called Chefs for Seniors. She has put together a few celebrity chefs and is doing a tasting adventure. Saturday, July 27th. It's going to be from 2 to 5, also at Joe's Senior Resource Center. As you know, we do the car raffle is our big fundraiser. So every year in October, end of October, we will raffle off a car. One lucky winner will get to choose from this year's 7. We're up to 7 now, different vehicles. So Chef Jillian and her chef friends have created a specialty menu item for each of one of these cars, which it's really nice to be at the resource center all the time. She came in the other day and had us taste testing a few of the options, which, was really hard to take. We tried matcha ice cream with bee pollen. Really different, but really good. I didn't expect to like it. Chandler's looking at me. It's radio, so you can't see his face. He was questioning that bee pollen, I could tell. But it was actually really, really good. So it's going to be an afternoon tasting. They have paired a menu item with each car and then also a tea. So some of them are actually a smoothie or a boba tea or different types of teas. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're a foodie, this is the event for you. Again, you're supporting a great cause, but also having a really great gastro event on Saturday, July 27th, 2 to 5. You can get tickets by reaching out to the Senior Resource Center. Karen's on the phones today. Give her a call, 321-473-7770. I believe the tickets are $45 donation for one person or a $75 donation for two. You get the chef's apron. You get to go around and taste all of the different foods. You get to go back and taste your favorite one again. I believe there might be a table with a glass of wine by donation. So it is going to be a lot of fun, a great afternoon. Don't know that you're going to need dinner that evening. But it will be a great time. Elana, is there anything else coming up as far as St. Francis Reflections, any support groups or different programs that you have coming up?
Yes, we have our standing monthly support groups with our grief support program. Again, we do some lectures throughout the community, so stay posted. Look at our website at www.reflectionslsc.org. You can find more information about our Dash in Life 5K that's coming up in November, and we highlight our community upcoming events on there as well. So
very good. And then volunteers, if you do have volunteers or you have a new quilting group that is not already part of your quilts, is it Quilts of Valor? What can they do?
Oh, with regards to our volunteers, we have a volunteer coordinator team. Again, they can go on our website to reach out or call reach our number at 321-269-4240 to reach out to our volunteers and learn ways that they can become part of the St. Francis Volunteers program and ways and opportunities that they can give back to volunteer with our organization.
Wonderful. And highly encourage people to do that. When you volunteer, really, what is the saying that you give twice? Because not only are you giving, but you get just as much as you receive. So you get involved. If you're a quilter, making those Quilts of Valor is just an amazing, knowing that it's going to someone that truly, really, really appreciates all the hard work that went into it. So please go ahead and get involved. Call that number. And before we wrap up, we do have to talk about that car raffle in October. It's going to be on Sunday. This year it is a little different. I don't know if either one of you made it last year. It was an amazing event. We had such a good turnout that we truly, literally packed the American Muscle Car Museum. Victim of our success, we had almost too many people. So great problem to have, but we did have such a great turnout that we've decided instead of Saturday night at the museum, we are now going to be a Sunday afternoon at the museum, and we're going to spill out into the parking lot, and we're going to make sure that we have lots of spaces out front for our seniors, people with handicap plates, that they're going to be able to park close. It's going to be in daylight hours, so they're not worrying about walking through the parking lot in the dark. We're going to have some activities outside as well as inside so that we can spread people out a little bit and make sure that everyone has the opportunity to experience all that the American Muscle Car Museum has to offer and be able to help support helping seniors.
Well, we had a record crowd there last year, Jennifer.
We did.
And by being outside this year, it should help double that number that we had last year.
There you go. Is that a challenge, John?
Yeah, why not?
Let's go.
It was interesting. I think I was with you, and we looked outside, and there was just this stream of cars waiting to get in, and you and I looked at each other like, "Wow, this is unreal. This is a first."
It was amazing. It
Yeah.
really was. We were looking down Sarno, and there was no end to the cars.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Sarno.
And people walking over from the Greyhound Park parking lot. And it was pretty amazing. We appreciated what everybody did.
Absolutely.
And it was a great night. And I think this year should be bigger and better than ever.
Absolutely. You know, as an organization, and I'm sure you both know, when you put on an event like that, we come back afterwards and say, okay, what did we do right? What did we do wrong? How do we make this better? What do we do differently next year? And, here we thought we had the process of getting in down. We got people in very quickly because that was one of our pain points the year before. We thought we were ready, but we just had such a record number of participants that Sarno Road could not keep up with it.
That's right, and it shows that people in our area want to support our organization, and they certainly came out last year and did just that. And this year, with the cars that are available up for the benefit, I think people are going to be pretty amazed. And can you go over again the cars?
So the cars are, I have to use a cheat sheet now that there's 7 of them. So we still have the most recent edition because they were not sure if we were going to have the Miata. There was a question of whether or not they would have a Miata available, but we just found out within the last couple of weeks that the Miata will be there. So we will have that as a choice to give away. But we also have a Mitsubishi Outlander. We have oh gosh, I need my cheat sheet. I need my cheaters, unfortunately. The Jeep Sport.
The Grand Sport?
Yes.
Yep.
There is a Dodge Hornet.
That's correct. That's new this year, I believe.
Yes.
That's the one that replaced the Dodge Challenger.
Yes, it made me very sad. But,
Yeah.
But we'll
Yeah.
accept that. There is a truck. There's a Chevy Colorado. And
the Chevy Colorado is a nice one.
yes. And let's see, we've got the Mitsubishi Outlander, the Kia Sportage, which is another little SUV, which has been chosen twice. And the Mazda 3.
So it's a good lineup of cars.
There's a lot to choose from. So
Right.
you've got the truck, the SUV, the kind of mid-range sedan, and then you've got the little Miata run around with the top down summer sun. So you really have lots to choose from.
Do you remember the first one we had, I believe, was a reconditioned, of course, a 1949 Ford
It was a 1952 Ford
52?
Victoria because
thought it
I
was
tried
pretty
to
nice.
drive it.
Uh-huh.
It was 3 on the tree, which I had never driven before. And don't tell Joe, but I don't know that I drove it well.
So
It was hard to drive. I am a stick shift girl, and it was hard to drive.
but it was quite a
But it was
car
fun.
for a collector.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a good car, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun to ride around in.
So we got that coming up, and to look forward to that, and we have the event coming up with Chef Jillian.
Yes, and at that event with Chef Jillian, we will have a table with tickets available for the October raffle car event at the Muscle Car Museum. So you can purchase tickets online. You can contact Karen over at the Senior Resource Center. Again, that number is 321-473-7770. You can come to the tasting and get your tickets there. And you're helping a great cause, helping seniors of Brevard County, and you're helping keep that senior resource line open. It's fun now that we are all in the Senior Resource Center. I get to see that call volume, and I get to see the responses and the what's happening. And
By the way, the Resource Center, just changing direction a little bit, but you and other members of the staff did a magnificent job in really making that place look nice.
well, thank you. It was a labor of love.
A labor of love, but obviously a lot of love there because it looks great, looks very efficient, and I was very impressed when we had the grand opening, and it looked good.
Well, you'll have to stop by because it's always changing. It's ever changing. Our little lobby within the Senior Resource Center is completely different now. Thanks to Danica over at Advocates for the Aging. She got us some really cute furniture. So it's ever evolving. If you came at the very, very beginning of the Senior Resource Center, you might have seen our ketchup and mustard colored walls. And thanks to all of the sponsor businesses, we had painting parties. And we now have very clean, neat, nice cream-colored walls and not ketchup and mustard.
I could tell, though, it was your touch that made that happen.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun seeing that evolve. We have now been in there over a year. So if you haven't been to the Senior Resource Center, highly encourage you to stop over and say hello because it's really been a great organization and a great group of people, just like St. Francis Reflections and Helping Seniors of Brevard County. There's, 2 nonprofits working together. All of us at the Resource Center work together to help the callers that come in because if sometimes, one of us doesn't know, the rest of us will chime in, hey, what about this? How can we help this person? So it's a lot of fun to be there, very heartwarming.
Very proud of it. And again, Jennifer, very proud of what you and the staff did to make that happen.
Well, thank you very much.
And also, as you were mentioning earlier, we've got the big event with Chef Jillian coming up.
Absolutely. So July 27th, 2 to 5. Get your tickets now. I know they have some tickets left, but I would get them quickly before they do run out. Give Karen a quick shout, 321-473-7770. I'll be there. I know a lot of the folks at the Senior Resource Center will also be there. I'm not hosting a table. I'm just going to enjoy the food.
And that'll be great as far as the food if Chef Jillian is involved with that. Off the top of your head, not to put you on the spot, but do you know what the different tables will be?
I actually have a cheat sheet here.
All right.
I know there are going to be bison sliders with roasted tomato chutney paired with an oolong mint tea. Slow roasted pulled pork with chipotle slaw. That's paired with a watermelon iced tea.
Hey.
Hand rolled vegetable sushi roll, which paired with an acai. I never say that word right. Acai, lemongrass tea, bulgogi with a bamboo tea, barbecue bacon, and chicken waffle bite.
Barbecue bacon.
And so it's a chicken and waffles, but with barbecued bacon on it. She was describing that to us. It sounds amazing. I'm not doing it justice. Jillian was talking to us about it last week. Oh my goodness. A fried cabbage pancake, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce what that's called. I'm handing it over to Elana. She's not going to attempt it either.
Okonomiyaki, fried cabbage pancake.
And that we saw pictures of. That looks amazing. She said it is so good. So some really different menu items to try. And again, if you really, really, really like one, you can go back and try it again.
Yeah, I was going to ask that if you can try it again, go back, or go to another table, or try them all.
You can try them all. You can try them all, and then whichever one you like, you can go back for seconds.
You can run the board.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, good.
I don't think you will go home hungry.
Yeah, that sounds great. Good lineup of great food to eat.
Absolutely. Well, before we close on out, Elana, could you give St. Francis's information one more time?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us here today. It's been a pleasure. We're so honored that Helping Seniors of Brevard has invited us back to be part of this radio segment today. Also being able to support some of the opportunities that you've afforded us to attend at Helping Seniors of Brevard. So it's a beautiful collaboration, just how our community comes together as a whole with our not-for-profit organizations. If anyone would like to reach St. Francis Reflections to inquire about more information about our organization, or we on our veterans program, hospice, palliative care, grief support, please reach us at www.reflectionslsc.org. That's www.reflectionslsc.org. Or contact us at 321-269-4240. Again, that's 321-269-4240. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I almost forgot. I was having so much fun talking to you both that I almost forgot, but we are seniors. Helping Seniors of Brevard County is now going to be taking over their Senior Santa program. Triad disbanded. We are going to take that program over. So please be on the lookout for more information. We're going to celebrate Christmas in July with some donations, but very happy about that, excited, and looking for a lot of support from our community to make sure that our seniors get some Christmas presents. Thank you all, and have a wonderful afternoon.